Kenny speaking.
We have a problem.
What now?
They keep playing it.
Wait, you mean Half-Life?
Yes.
But I already made 2 videos.
You need to keep going.
What am I supposed to talk about anyway?
I don't care. Just do it.
Oh, okay. Let me find something, damn it.
Good.
2025 is officially here, and everyone keeps saying, new year, new me. Then they go ahead and play the same 26-year-old game over and over and over again. And look, I get it. Half-Life is an absolute classic, and finding something that lives up to it is not easy. But don't you worry, I'm here to save the day. In this series, I talk about games that either take inspiration from Half-Life or share a similar vibe, and I just call them Half-Life. Today, I've got 3 of these games for you, so let's get into it. Okay, as usual, we start with a banger, Red Faction. You guys have been shouting about this one for ages, and to be honest, it's also been on my list forever. Red Faction is old. Well, not as old as me, but the saga goes all the way back to 2001, a time when the PS2 was cutting edge, and the best GPU on the market was the GeForce 3. The game was developed by a studio called Volition, and these guys were working on some pretty epic titles like Summoner, Punisher, and even Saints Row. However, the studio's first big break wasn't any of these titles. It was a small space shooter, Descent. This game was considered a technical marvel when it was released back in '95. Descent allowed the player to fly in a complete 3D space, and people just lost their minds over it. And of course, Volition made bank. The game did so well that they made not 1, but 2 sequels. I played the second game a lot on the PS1, and I actually think it's pretty nice, so if you haven't tried it, give it a shot. But here is the twist. Red Faction was originally supposed to be Descent 4, but during development, the team decided that it should be a standalone game after all. They scrapped the interstellar setting, kept the game engine, the main character, and built something entirely new, a grounded and more realistic first-person shooter. Red Faction came out for the PS2, PC, and later Engage, which I admit I had to Google. But turns out it's this thing, a cell phone / game system by Nokia that kinda looks like a taco. Man, can you imagine playing Red Faction on this thing? I would have killed for one of these in primary school. I only had that lame Nokia 6620. But hey, that's enough boomer talk, let's see the game. The story of Red Faction is actually pretty solid and interesting, especially for a shooter from 2001. We play as a guy named Parker, a miner on Mars who gets himself into a full-blown rebellion. The game starts with Parker staring into your soul during the intro cutscene. Yeah, facial animations can be interesting in this game, but you will see. It's the year of 2075. Humanity is close to depleting the resources on Earth, so they turn to the Red Planet to mine for minerals. This is where Altor comes in the picture. It's a mega corporation recruiting miners and promising them a decent pay and of course comfortable living conditions. But we all know how it goes with these evil corpos, right? We've seen Voltec, Aperture, Umbrella Corp. Geez, I think video games might be onto something. It turns out Altor's idea of livable conditions is more like a dystopian nightmare. They completely exploit their miners by making them work long hours, giving them barely any food, and employing guards who love abusing their powers. And if that's not bad enough, a new mysterious disease called the Plague breaks out. No one knows what the plague is exactly, or if there is even a cure. With all that said, I think it's understandable that the tensions are high and the miner revolution is imminent. As Parker finishes the shift, he witnesses a guard harassing another miner, and it doesn't take much for a conflict to start. One thing leads to another, and the guard pulls the trigger. And we have no choice but to go all in and start blasting the guards. As we try to escape and run through the mine shafts, we realize that something bigger has started, a full-blown uprising. Parker is not alone in this fight. Turns out an underground resistance group has been forming in the background, and they are called Red Faction.
He said it! He said it!
The leader, named EOS, broadcasts a message to all the miners to rise up and start fighting back. And then it happened. I had the chance to experience the main selling point of Red Faction: destruction. And I have to admit, this is pretty impressive for 2001. Yeah, sure, it's a bit blocky and janky, but man, it's fun to blow stuff up. Speaking of fun, the silenced pistol from the guards quickly became one of my go-to weapons. It's super accurate and looks pretty sick. Oh, and you can also remove the silencer if you want. CS 1.6 inspiration? Not sure. Anyway, Parker's main goal is simple. Link up with more Red Faction miners and somehow escape Mars. Easy, right? No. Altor's got guards, electric fences, and whatever you can imagine to stop the miners. But then, a guy named Hendrix pops up on the radio. Apparently he is a technician working for Altor, but he wants to help us. Yeah, sure Hendrix, why wouldn't I trust a random stranger on the radio? Our only chance to leave Mars is the docking bay. The problem is, it's through the barracks, and the place is swarming with guards, even more guards, and of course, turrets. Lovely. Oh, I see the guards have a little nicer conditions than miners. You pigs. Now it's clear that there is a revolution going on. The walls are covered in graffiti, posters, and we even see dead miners occasionally. Okay, I'm starting to believe that Hendrix can be trusted and... Wait, hey. I gotta stop for a second. Holy crap, this soundtrack is blasting. So the miners are waiting for us at the shuttle, but of course Parker misses the departure, and Hendrix is acting like a bitch about it.
There they go. If only you'd been faster.
Will you please, just once, get off my ass?
Yeah, maybe it's a good thing we missed it. We have no choice but to look for a plan B. Follow EOS's orders and link up with another group. This takes us through an abandoned section of the mine, which is kinda creepy. It also has some Half-Life flashbacks, a confusing platforming puzzle that made me question my life choices. Yeah, good luck with that. And eventually I found the sniper rifle, aka the Beast. Oh, I love this. Next up is the geothermal plant, which looks pretty awesome. All this machinery just looks real, and seemingly everything has a purpose. You can tell the devs put a lot of effort into making this feel realistic, so we blow it up. Sorry. We end up finding a submarine, but to lower it down, we need to get into the control room. The door doesn't open, can't jump in the windows, so what the hell? Of course, blow up the wall. I forgot. Anyway, I wasn't expecting this next section at all, but it was super fun. The biggest surprise is that the submarine is quite easy to control. I was expecting some weird, clunky, inverted mouse thingy, but that's not the case. Oh, let's see how toilets will look in the future. That's pretty nice. After the cool underwater section, we need to sneak into the admin building, which means putting on a uniform, holstering the pistol, and going full stealth mode. And of course, 1,000 quick saves. Sneaking in these older games can be sketchy. The way the guards notice Parker is just stupid. The only thing you need to pay attention to is just don't get close to them. You can do whatever you want, as long as you are far away. I can jump around, crouch, do some shadow boxing, it's all fine. But as soon as I get close, they are like, oh, something doesn't add up. Whatever. I will let this one slide. It's 2001 after all. And the music is out of this world, so that's a plus. After a million saving and loading, we make it to Director Griffin's office and get an interesting cutscene.
Take me to EOS. I'll tell her everything I know.
Explain it to me first.
I'll tell you what I can on the way, but more guards are going to show up soon.
I'm right behind you. Betray me or try to run, and you'll be the first to die.
Apparently, Griffin has some vital information and wants to talk to EOS. Of course, Parker is a good guy, so we end up babysitting this guy for a while. He will help us opening some doors, but other than that, he's completely useless and has some weird animations. Then, we get a small boss fight against a giant robot. Not gonna lie, this one actually made me sweat. The only way to kill this dude is to lure it into the pit, but pulling that off is way harder than than it sounds. Once it's dead, a few miners escort Griffin, but EOS has different plans for Parker. Oh great, she's leaving us here. She wants Parker to go into the medical labs and eliminate K-Pac, the lead scientist. So we go where the robot went, down the pit. We can do more toilet checks in the labs and also see Parker's reflection. Okay. As you would expect, we run into K-Pac, who is really short for some reason, and turns out he's been experimenting with nanotech, and the plague is just a little side effect. You know how it is. Lovely guy. Hearing this information, Parker gets pissed and starts blasting. But unfortunately, K-Pac has some fancy nanotech shield and just leaves. Okay. See you, I guess. We start chasing K-Pac and see some of our minor friends turn into mutants. Oh no. Eventually Parker catches up to K-Pac again, and we finally face him with the help of EOS. Even with a teammate, this fight is brutal. He's got a nano shield and can practically one-shot Parker. But after about 260 retries, he finally goes down and pulls off a classic villain move. There is an antidote, but I'm not telling you where it is, you dick. Oh, and of course, he starts a 60-second self-destruction, because why not? EOS stays behind to find the antidote files on his computer. Oh god, I hope she makes it in time. For Parker, it's time to ride away in the canyon. Do a little gunning, a pretty cool section by the way. And this canyon looks awesome, especially the cable car. I don't know man, I just love cable cars. It's time to alert the Earth Defense Force to rescue us and destroy Altor's defense system. And while we ride away in this cool train, EOS gets in touch. Thankfully, it seems like she made it and even found the antidote. Nice, it's all coming together. I'm gonna stop here for a second. I cannot continue without mentioning a certain enemy type. This guy. I hate this guy so much. It freaking pissed me off many times, many times. He's running around with this laser gun, which is cool, we can also pick that up. It's one shot, one kill, but the reload takes forever, so it's not easy to use it. But the problem is, this dude doesn't miss. No, and if you get shot, you're dead. No questions. Just look at this. Do you think that's fair?
Now I am become death.
Oh, anyway, let's continue. Parker takes a shuttle to Altor's space station to blow it up. I'm gonna be honest, this section was my least favorite. The space station is a complete maze, there is a lot of back and forth between areas, and sometimes objectives are not even clear. Difficulty is also quite insane. Enemies and robots behind every door, corner, and they will shred you in a second. After what feels like an eternity, Parker makes it back to Mars, only to be captured by the mercs. These guys are tough. But luckily, my second favorite weapon, the old reliable, helped me out.
What's up, baby? Did you miss me?
A final battle against Masako, leader of the mercs, and once she goes down, we find EOS next to a bomb. The bomb is activated and we need to defuse it before it blows up. And here comes the part where I'm going to rant. The game ends with a puzzle, a timed puzzle. Are you kidding me? This is how you're going to end such a great game with a freaking puzzle? On normal difficulty, we have a minute to solve this. A minute. I really suck at these puzzles, especially with this annoying sound, and the timer just makes me even more anxious. Not to mention that the whole thing is completely based on luck. You might get an easy one or an impossible one. No one knows. I can't believe this. Anyway, after smashing through my desk, the antidote works, Earth Defense Force arrives, and it's a happy ending. God, what an amazing journey this game has been. No, not fucking you. Since the first Red Faction game was a huge success, the guys released the sequel just a year later in 2002. The sequel somewhat continues the story of the first game, but honestly, this one has never really been close to me, so I will leave that for another video, maybe at some point. Later on, there were two other attempts to revive the franchise, Red Faction Guerrilla in 2009 and Armageddon in 2011. However, these are both third-person shooters, and honestly, even though I liked Guerrilla, it's just not the same Red Faction anymore. And now, the usual question, what do I think? You can probably already tell, but I'm a little biased when it comes to Red Faction. I played this game so much back in the day, and honestly, I think it's an important piece in the history of shooters. Sure, it never reached the same legendary status as Half-Life, but it's still an incredible game with a meaningful story, and I truly feel like it aged really well. Yeah, textures can be a bit blocky, and cutscenes and animations are a bit janky, but after all these years, I find it a little funny and charming. So I really can't hate it. They even made me chuckle a few times. I mean, just look at this dude. Weapons feel nice, there is also a great variety, and most of them have secondary modes, which are quite creative. And let's not forget the destruction. Was it perfect? No, but for 2001, it was really impressive. I also showed you a few soundtracks, and there is not much else I can say, really. It's crazy good. Banger, futuristic tunes, always made my heart going. Love it. Anyway, enough talking. If you want to play a good story-based older shooter that is not Half-Life, then yeah, this one is for you. If you want to try Red Faction, I would recommend downloading Dash Faction, which is gonna help with bugs, fixes, and resolution. I will leave a link in the description. Even with this, I had a few FPS drops, but it's not too bad. I will give Red Faction 9 -1 for the puzzle, so 8 of my favorite enemy out of 10. Next, our second game today is Red Alliance. Oh yeah, another red title. It wasn't on purpose, I swear. This one was recommended to me in the comments, and when I saw it on sale last week, I just couldn't resist. I mean, $5? Sure, why not? I love when you guys give me indie titles, and Red Alliance is prime indie. The game was created by Second Up Studios, and as far as I can tell, this is their first game. Judging from the credits, they are a really small team, probably around like 4 or 5 people. When I first looked at the screenshots, I could immediately tell that this was heavily inspired by Half-Life 2. But you know, that's not a bad thing. The story is set in a fictional Eastern European country ruled by an oppressive regime. That sounds familiar, and this regime is led by a mad scientist named Dr. Gray. When you start the game, you have two options: play the prologue or jump immediately to the first chapter. I chose to play the prologue, and I would recommend everyone do the same. In this short intro section, we will meet our friend Stanko in this typical Eastern European apartment block that has humongous toilets for some reason, and we are looking for a hidden weapon stash in the building. The place is being torn down by these combined soldiers looking for rebels. Well, we are one of those rebels, so time to do a little sneaking. And Stanko takes sneaking a bit too seriously.
That's one tangle down. Let's look through the rest of the rooms in this apartment. Who knows? We might find more rebels. Yeah, let's keep going.
Yeah, animations are a bit janky in this game. Once we make it to the stash, of course, it turns out to be a trap, so time for a little nap. We wake up locked down in Gray's lab with two other dudes. I'm not entirely sure who's the third guy, but whatever. Seems like Gray did some freaky mind control experiments and tries to demonstrate it to the soldiers. I gotta say, voice acting is quite low budget, but Gray's voice is actually pretty decent.
What is this demonstration going to reveal anyway?
What did I say about questioning my work?
It seems like his mind control kinda sucks and doesn't work on us. Maybe he just ran out of mana. Oh god, a crappy WoW joke? That's the best I can do? Anyway, it seems like it does work on the other guy.
Now, test number 2. Walk towards the window.
off me!
I guess he really doesn't want to go to that window. Since we failed as a test subject, Gray just throws us into a jail cell so the guards can have some fun with us.
For now, enjoy rotting in this cell. It will be our turn to have some fun with you after Gray is done with the rest of the prisoners.
Okay. Lucky for us, the prison gets bombed, so this is our get out of jail free card. 30 seconds into the game and already crawling through a vent. Yeah, this is indeed Half-like. Our first weapon is a baton, and we learn that enemies can be executed from behind. That's pretty cool. I also have to mention that Red Alliance uses proper weapon names. Like the pistol, for example, is called MP443 and not just pistol, you know, like a peasant. After some keycard hunting and water draining, this bathroom looks pretty cool by the way, we find a way out of the prison. This next outdoor section quickly became one of my favorites. These guys really nailed the aesthetics here. The blocks, the authentic cars, and even random NPCs that we can talk with. They don't really say much, but it's a nice touch.
All these shootings, how did our country become like this?
I don't know.
And this open area with this soundtrack is pretty badass. This is where I realized that b-hopping is OP. We eventually end up saving a guy named Yan from the soldiers who is going to help us get out of the city. According to Yan, the only way to leave the city is to get on a train. That sounds easy. Let's go. Time to fight our way through this open area and meet a lovely lady.
Who are you? And why are you in prison outfit? You're freaking me out!
Alright, I know. This is an indie game, so I won't talk crap on the voice acting, but this one actually got me. I also had an epic sniper battle at the train station. Spoiler, I lost. We finally jump on the train with Yan, and we even get a San Andreas Easter egg.
Getting away. No time to talk, Carlos. Follow that damn train.
I love this. Yan leads us to the Red Alliance base, where we can meet the team, including this guy.
Yan, wait up! Jesus Christ, walk a little bit faster, why don't you?
Okay, I'm sorry. Turns out the team is trying to get into Gray's lab, so they ask for some help and even give us a Kanye mobile to get there.
Hey, can I get a...
I'm not joking. For me, the next 30 minutes was the absolute peak of Red Alliance. Driving through these snowy villages, rescuing team members, sabotaging camps is just pure fun. Soon we end up in an enemy base where we need to destroy 4 generators. We have 2 options. A. Go in guns blazing and fight a million soldiers, or B. Sneak. Since ammo is extremely scarce in this game, I chose option B, and I'm so glad I did. I actually love the fact that the game gave me a choice, and I gotta say, taking out these soldiers one by one was extremely fun. Yeah, the AI is not exactly smart, they don't really react to noise, and the whole thing was a little janky, but in a good way.
Did I see something?
Especially if you find a silent sniper earlier called Gluhar. God, I don't want to hear that name ever again. We soon make it to Gray's lab, and this is where the game turns into horror. And I mean that. From this point on, there will be no more outdoor areas, which is a little shame. I will miss those lovely blocks. The lab is full of Gray's mutants, and not gonna lie, sometimes they caught me off guard. This is where I found out that this game has some seriously good lighting too. We eventually meet an invisible, telekinetic son of a bitch who actually scared the crap out of me. Yeah, good luck. Apparently there is also a Half-Life Easter egg, but I didn't find it. What I did find though is the Holy Grail, the ASL. Hell yeah. Unfortunately though, it kinda sucks. What a bummer. After killing hundreds of soldiers and mutants, we end up finding our friend Stanko locked up in a cell. He made friends with a soldier who's ready to go against Gray because he betrayed them. And his name is...
By the way, my name is Paul.
Yeah, just Paul. I wasn't expecting that after all the Eastern European names, but sure, why not? We find some of Gray's creations gross, and it's time to put an end to his crazy experiments. Stanko starts hacking the door that leads to Gray, but that takes time. A lot of time. Yeah, you guessed it, arena fight with enemy waves. Awesome. Well, it would be awesome, but this is where the ammo problem comes out even more. The first 4 or 5 waves were fine because there were some ammo scattered around. However, after picking it all up, I ended up running around with 1 or 2 bullets most of the time, which is pretty insane. This Vortex gun is pretty crazy, by the way. We finally made Gray face to face, and spoilers, Gray finally goes down in a really underwhelming way.
Wait, what's going on? How did you open that door? Do you have any idea what's in that room? Shit, why can't I close it? What have you done? Get me out of here! I can't die here! Not like this! No! No! No!
This is how it ends for him.
And ladies and gents, this was Red Alliance. And now, what do I think? Honestly, I really like this game. At first I thought this was gonna be a super clunky, extremely low budget Half-Life 2 copy, but I ended up having a lot of fun. In terms of graphics, it's clear that the game runs on the Unity engine, so some of the models feel plastic and the animations can be a little weird, like moonwalking characters, absolutely no mouth movement. On the other hand, the game has some really good lighting and great atmosphere. As always, the outdoor sections were definitely my favorites. Oh, and I really like the soundtracks too, especially this one. I need to find out who made this. I also like the fact that I had the choice to sneak instead of full sending it. I think I will remember this base section with the blizzard forever. It was really good. Okay, if I really have to say something bad, the voice acting was super low budget, but even that had a few good ones, like Dr. Gray. His voice was quite decent. All in all, I think Red Alliance is a fun little game. You can definitely feel that it's not a high budget AAA title, but that's not a problem. If you like janky shooters, it's 100% worth your $10, or maybe wait for a sale and pay a $5 instead. If you do try it out, let me give you a fair warning. This game can be hard, mostly because of the ammo situation that I mentioned. So good luck. Anyway, I will give Red Alliance 7 ammo pickups out of 10. Please add more of these to the game. The last game for today is Shelf Life. This one was recommended to me by one of the devs on Discord, and they were so nice to even give me a key for the game. I really appreciate it. In Shelf Life, we work for a certain multi-billion-dollar corporation as a target dummy. Yeah, you heard that right, a target dummy. The CEO of the company is called Ron Edison, or E-Ron for short. I think you know which company this might be. The game starts off with us taking a ride to the office in this fancy self-driving car. No, definitely not a Tesla. While we get a briefing of the job.
We reserve the right to access your
X homepage, followers and follows, direct messages and viewing history, email, cell phone and mail, both business and personal, doorbell cameras, in-home personal assistant data, and fitness watch statistics, security footage, timing bathroom visitation, coffee and smoke breaks, at desk idleness, and known work associates. Biometric data such as fingerprints, hair samples from eyelashes and armpits, hair salinity, and your entire genome sequence. Political party affiliation of employees and their partners, children, house pets, extended family, and ancestors.
Yeah, that sounds lovely. Where do I sign? Once we make it to the office, we can have a look around, talk to people, and yeah, everything just looks peaceful and normal, doesn't it? We put on the dummy suit, get to work, and pass out after the first shot. However, once we wake up, the office seems a little different. Turns out the rival company is trying to take over, using their reptilian drones. And that company is called Para. Yeah, Para. These guys will try to make you join them with stuff like this.
Have we told you about our dental plan?
Hilarious. The only way to save everyone, including ourselves, is to crash the stock. First we need to fight our way through the office, blow up some servers, then dodge some e-taxis, and even enter the CEO's mind using this machine. Yeah. We have a nice arsenal of a pistol, a flamethrower, and even a GPU gun that shoots NFTs. I'm not going to spoil the whole game because I think it's definitely worth a try. To be honest, I had a really good time playing. Shelf Life has nice jokes, Easter eggs, and some pretty cool ideas. And the whole thing is just a satire of today's society and how these egotistic CEOs are being worshipped.
The analytics show he's in a digital gratification feedback loop. Every time regions associated with the superego activate, it's drowned out by online chatter about grind sets, wokeness, and podcasts.
In addition, the game had some pretty challenging sections, especially towards the end, so it might not be as easy as it looks. And even though Shelf Life is a super indie game, they managed to come up with some pretty solid audio section. I love the soundtracks, just listen. And even the voice acting is decent, and it's not AI, so that's a huge plus. I hope the guys will keep tweaking this game in the future. The AI could definitely be smarter, and I found some glitches where I could clip through textures, but nothing too serious. Shelf Life goes for $6 right now, which I think is a fair price. I mean, what do you get for $6 these days? I will give this game 7 definitely not Elon Musks out of 10. I would have given 8 if it was a bit longer. But hey, great job. And that's all I had for today. Let me know how you feel, but I think we found some great games today. But here is the thing, the list of half-likes is far from over, so this series will go on for a long time. And I would like to say thank you for all the recommendations, please keep them coming, I'm working my way through them. And in the meantime, if you would like to talk about games or anything else, join our Discord. And as always, thanks for watching, bye.